Hey, what's going on, YouTube? So, I dropped like a brick on my extension cord there, and it pretty much mangled it all up there. And there's a couple ways you can fix this. It's sort of near the end there, so I could have gone out and cut this off and then buy another end. In this case, it is the female end, and then put that on there. And you can do that relatively cheap, probably for $5 or so. But then I thought, hey, this would be a great chance to show off my new ratcheting terminal crimpers. And I like these things a lot. I've only used them one other time, and because I just got them. And the part number is right there. I think that says 11477. And these are really neat. I got them like half for. They're made by Titan, and I got this at Knechts Auto Parts. And it opens up. What's really neat is as you crimp it down, you just squeeze it all the way, and it's ratcheting, and it'll give you the perfect amount of crimping for your terminal connectors. Most of the here, let's see if I can find kind of the old style. I don't even know where mine's at. Most of them are just a pair of pliers basically, and you squeeze them, and you kind of always, oh, did I squeeze it tight enough, too tight, or whatever. This will get you a good crimp every time. And it's got the these are the three main crimp types. Let me see if I got some here. Hopefully I don't need any yellow ones. Those are kind of big. So if you go like an auto parts store, pretty much like 3M. 3M's a good brand to stick with as far as these crimping ends and stuff. And I have no idea where I got these at, probably Walmart or something. But you got your blue terminal, which is going to go there. Your red terminal goes there. And then a yellow one, which I don't... Oh, I don't have any yellow barrel connectors. Hopefully I won't need them. They're pretty big. So you crimp yellow on the yellow dot there. And these, I'll look up the ranges of these. You can tell if I just lay them out. This is going to be around, I don't know, 18 to 22 or something like that. It's going to be a little bit bigger, 22, I don't know. Or I can't remember, I'll have to look it up. And then this is going to be your really big gauge wire, like probably 10 to 14 or something like that. And you can kind of tell. I always forget, if I'm like, oh, which one's the big ones and the small ones. If you just ratchet it close, you can kind of see the red's the smallest, the blue is going to be the medium, and the yellow is going to be the biggest. So you can kind of use this tool to help you remember which size it's goes small to large. Anyhow, let me show you. Well, I was going to demo this crimper for you, and also show you how to repair an extension cord relatively cheap. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a little disclaimer. I do not like using electrical tape. My personal preference for a job like this is you want to use heat shrink, but I don't have any heat shrink this big because I usually deal with electronics, and so my heat shrink's all like for 22 gauge wire and stuff, and this is going to be a lot bigger, especially this outer one. So I don't have any heat shrink this big, so I am going to use electrical tape, and I'm not a fan of electrical tape. When it heats up, it tends to unravel, and especially it's not really good to use around cars and stuff, but it'll get by, and that's what I'm going to end up using on this because I don't have any heat shrink. And what's unfortunate with heat shrink, if you got a piece that big to go around that end, it's going to be too big to heat shrink to the correct size here. So that's one problem. You got to put heat shrink on when you cut the wire. You put it on them after you get the job done. You slide it over and heat shrink it, and that would be the best way, my recommended way to do this. That being said, my game plan is I'll cut this bad section out, and then I'm going to use barrel connectors in my crimper and reassemble it, and then I am going to use electrical tape. And after I electrical tape, I'll probably get some better quality duct tape, put it over that. But anyways, with that said, let me get you. Here's a quality wire cutter. And once you start using quality tools, and I understand they're expensive, but once you use a good quality tool, you won't go back. Like after using these, I don't want to go back to the pressure ones anymore. And I really enjoy using this one. So anyways, got a decent pair of cutter, no kind of like chintzy all-in-one tool cutter. And all I gotta do is stick this in there and cut it. So it's not rocket science, and I'm not gonna put this on a tripod to let you watch me cut that. So I will be right back, and I'm just gonna cut off both bad ends there. Okay, so just get yourself oh, I forgot what they call these things. I want to call it a box cutter, but it's not really what I guess it is a box cutter, but that's not what I think of a box cutter. Anyways, a utility knife. And my blade's really sharp, so you just gently roll it there, and you don't want to cut into the wire. You just want to cut the sheath enough, and then you pull it off, and you get yourself a nice clean break there. And then it's got reinforcement. Oops, sorry. It's got reinforcement, little like paper deal inside the wire, or not the wire, inside the housing of the extension cord, so when you pull on it, it provides a little bit of strength and you're not stressing the wires. So just get yourself some little nip cutters and chop those off there, nip them off, and you do that on both ends, and so you leave yourself enough wire, you know, so you have some room to work with. And you're only going to want to put it in halfway into the crimp, so I'm going to go with the blue ones. And I have a nice pair of wire strippers. I don't think I can do this with one hand, but essentially what you do is you set your depth on that, and I'm just going to place the wire in there, and you just squeeze it and it pulls it to, over. Here's an end result of one. Oh shoot, oh here it is. So I did it on the test piece there to get my length the way I wanted there, and so it does a good job, and it's really easy to use. Once you use one of these, you won't go back to using the spin kind and stuff like that. These are really nice, and it works great for lower gauge wire too, and that's what I usually use it for. So all I'm going to do now is I should get the tripod because I kind of wanted to show you these fancy crimpers, but I'm just gonna, maybe I'll get the tripod and I'll show you me using that tool there. Hold on. Alright, let's give this a try. I have no idea how well this is going to show up. So all you do is place your wire in here. There you go. And the nature of this thicker rubber is when you remove the insulation, sometimes it looks like you cut it not very short, but the rubber will actually, because it pulls it and cuts it, it'll actually retract a little bit, and then you'll see your true cut length. So let me do that on the other end. I'm tempted to crimp it on right now, but there's a problem with a danger in crimping this on and then trying to get the other end. You should put both ends in the barrel connector and then start crimping. That way, if it crimps here and closes the other side a little bit, you're already in position. Because if you crimp it on here and you can't get it on the other end, then you're kind of in trouble there. So again, we're just stripping that out. And I just twist them. They have a natural twist usually to them, so you just kind of tighten them, so to speak, when you twist them. And we'll just put this, and then I like to twist these as I put them on. And so you can see it goes to the little bump spot there, so it should be about halfway. So it actually goes in a little bit. And oops. You want to make sure you put the white to the white, the black to black. And some of you are wondering, why is there not 3 wires on it? Not all extension cords have a ground. And this particular one doesn't. So this is going to be kind of tricky. I don't know. This is going to be kind of hard. Let me figure out how I'm going to do this. I kind of Maybe I'll violate my rule there. You almost need a third person. Right now it'd be nice to have somebody to crimp that for me. What the heck, I'm gonna risk it, even though I told you not to do it this way. Let's just see how it goes. Plus you get to at least see how it works. If I had two people, it would definitely go well. And here's the problem is, see, I'm gonna put that in there. Oops, I hope it's showing up on camera. And it's probably gonna crunch the other side. So I squeeze that, and it kind of ratcheted it down and put a perfect crimp on there. And let's see if I get lucky and can get the other side in. Ooh, I lucked out. Another thing you want to do is, when you crimp it, you want to make sure that the other wires are kind of lined up so you don't put stress. Like if I crimped it like that, then I have to swing it around and I'll stress it. So it's kind of hard. Hope this is on camera. There we go. Shoot, it slipped out. It's kind of nice that I ratchet it down, not enough to crimp it, but it holds it in place for you. And this is a lot easier when you're doing it by yourself and you feel like nobody's watching you. There it goes. There you go. That is tight and like the perfect crimp. So I'm gonna turn off the camera and do the other one because I don't know. That way I'm not like got this camera. You can't really tell because I'm working like this and I got a camera in between me and the work. So let me put that other one on and I'll show you the end result. Okay, so that's it, and it's really strong, and I got two really perfectly made crimps. It's going to be the exact crimping distance that you should have for, in this case, the blue barrel connectors. And anyway, so I highly recommend this tool. Again, I think I got that at Knechts there, and I'm really pleased with it. And after using that crimper, I don't want to go back. It's great working. If you got to do some stereo equipment work or anything like that, all I'm going to do now is just wrap this in electrical tape and probably put some duct tape, strong duct tape, over the top of that. Anyways, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and again, it mainly was a review of this crimping tool, but you got a bonus of, now you know how to fix a cut extension cord. This, if it was closer to the end, I would recommend just lopping it off, and like if you smash the end, then you want to cut it off and put you can buy little ones that you can put in there and screw on, and then you got a new end on it. But if you're out in the middle or you got some distance to where you can work with, this is pretty nice. In the old days, I mean, probably I don't know about the best method, but I still enjoy soldering. But in soldering, you have to worry about putting a good, you know, you're dealing with, you could be pulling a couple amps in here. You want a good insulator, and these will have the plastic on here will be a natural insulator. You can also get these crimps that have heat shrink. They're already heat shrink. They're heat shrink crimps, so you could heat it up and it would supposedly shrink on there. No, if I never really used those that way. I'm more of a fan of just using heat shrink for heat shrink stuff instead of crimp heat shrink. Anyhow, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Hopefully this helps somebody out there. If you subscribe, you'll see more videos as they come out. And thank you for watching. Okay, if you stuck to the end, you get the bonus. Here's what it looks like after electrical tape. I recommend going like one full tape width from the back, and just tightly wind it all the way to one tape width past the other cut, and then go back one more time, so it's kind of like 2 wraps. So this is my electrical tape job, and then I'll show you what it looks like after I put some duct tape on there. Here's some duct tape I really like a lot. It's called I guess it's Iron Force. I think I got it at Home Depot. It's some pretty heavy duty stuff. Doesn't look pretty. I only did 1 wrap, but this stuff's pretty strong, so this should protect it really well. And you could even pull on that. Pretty confident. This end came out really nice. I think I'd actually maybe go out a little bit farther to get the added strength, but I already kind of finished the job, so I don't want to add tape to it. But I might. I don't know. It's better to get it in one wrap. Anyways, thanks for hanging on to the end. You get to see what it looks like, and at least this should hold up and get me back in business.